and welcome to the Mastering PEARS series. In this video, we'll be going over how we can make the accomplishments and lessons learned sections of the PEARS Partnerships module more effective. The first thing we'd like to highlight in this video is how commonly we see folks omit their accomplishments and lessons learned altogether, sometimes entering a placeholder like NA or later. We want to encourage you to document your milestones here, no matter how small they might seem. In fact, if you find yourself unable to think of an accomplishment, even a small one, then you should consider whether this is actually an active partnership that should be reported. As far as lessons learned, we'd like to challenge you to use this place for some reflection. Was something more challenging than expected? Maybe you discovered a new strength? This is a good place to briefly document tidbits like this. Note, if you're using placeholder text like later or edit with the intention of filling in more information towards the end of the reporting year, then we ask that you simply leave the field blank. That way, when you return at the end of the year to complete your PEARS entry, the program will actually prompt you to fill in this information before marking it as complete. The second thing we'd like to flag is ambiguous entries. When inputting entries in PEARS, we're looking for you to provide enough detail that someone unfamiliar with the work you are doing could understand that entry. Consider a few questions before you wrap up these entries. Is your entry written in complete sentences with checked spelling? Have you provided details surrounding the time frame you're referencing, specifically what fiscal year you're referring to? This in particular helps us catch if an entry might have been accidentally copied from one year to another and not appropriately edited. And then finally, do you spell out any acronyms that may not be familiar to other SNAP Ed professionals? Now, one more thing to think about is making sure that these fields are updated annually. Many of you take advantage of the PEARS copy feature to streamline your partnership data entry, and we're glad this is helpful to you, but it's really important to make sure that you use these fields to talk about what's happening in the current reporting year. Okay, let's work through a couple examples to see how we can improve entries based on the points we just discussed. In this first example, someone has opted to leave their accomplishments fields blank. Like we discussed in the previous slide, we're looking for this field to be a place where you input milestones both big and small. If you can't think of anything to report in this field, we encourage you to consider whether this partnership should be entered as an active partnership at all. But what about if you've just established your partnership and you haven't gotten around to doing much of anything yet? In this case, we'd say that you do have an accomplishment to report. Input the details surrounding the establishment of this new partnership in the accomplishment field. In this example, someone has inputted the word scheduling as their response to the lessons learned section. It's a great start that this person has decided to make an entry, but it's unclear to us what this means. A better entry might say, "We learned that coordinating schedules of partners was a major ongoing challenge. We plan to try X to manage this in the future." This entry is composed of complete sentences and gives us enough information to understand what was learned. It's still brief, but much more powerful. In this final example, someone has inputted Parks RX Day as their response to the accomplishment section. So, how could this entry be more informative? A great first step would be expanding the entry to be at least one complete sentence. Is this an event that is in its planning stages, or did it already happen? If it has already happened, when and where was it? How did the partnership contribute to the RX Day? It could also be helpful for the entry if someone could define what the Parks RX Day is. The entry might read, "Our LHD collaborated with the City Parks Department to host a Parks Prescription Day on X date and at Y locations where we did Z." All right, that's it for this video. We hope it was helpful. If you have any more questions about this or other topics, please reach out via email to evaluatesnaped@ucanr.edu. If you can, please take a moment to scan the QR code provided to give us feedback on this video and to help us improve future resources. Thank you.